WBS 87 Atlanta, WAEN FM Atlanta, WBHH, and on iHeartRadio, the home of the Beat Break Morning Show with Sean Garvey, DJ Rollum, and the Wake Up Ladies. This is Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Streaming online at beatbreakradiofm.com. The views and opinions expressed on this program does not necessarily reflect those of Beat Break 87 FM, Reach One Communications, volunteers, staff, and management of Reach One Communications.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mario, and I would like to welcome you back into another episode of the Random Select Podcast. It's the podcast that's all about thought-provoking talk right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. It was a great weekend, people. I must admit, everybody got out to see the Black Panther movie. The hubbub and the press and the pre-orders were all through the roof. I'm very interested to know what a lot of you guys thought about the movie. I had a chance to go see it on opening night myself, and it was okay. I've definitely seen, better movies, but for what it was spectacular to see, us and depicted in a certain light. So you definitely can't fault them for that. And I'm going to play a little clip later on in the show to kind of give you an interesting perspective on how African people look at how the movie was portrayed and look at what the opportunities were and what it meant to them. Also on today's show, we're going to talk about LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Laura Ingraham. The little tit for tat they had going back when she made the comment, "Shut up and dribble." So we're going to get into that as well. And we also going to talk about when a woman's fed up, how much is enough? When you get pushed back up against the wall, when do you say enough's enough? No matter what the person comes to you with, you're just done. You just can't do it anymore. I've definitely been to that point, but I'm going to play a clip of a woman that you guys have probably seen out on the internet already. But when you're tired and you just can't do it no more, you hit your breaking point. I could get it. I understand. I've definitely been there, and quite a few of us have probably been there. So we're going to get into that as well. And, I don't know. We're just going to get into a lot of things. This is the Random Select, where I pick a random topic and we just go with it and we just see where it goes, where it end up. And because that's what we do, this is the Random Select. So guys, I just wanted to tell you really quick, if you're liking the show, please share, let people know that we're out here, we're grinding, we're trying to get it in, we're trying to bring you guys good content. Besides, you don't want anybody to miss me talking, right? You love the sound of my voice. But please share, guys. We're on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere that you think that streaming podcast should be, we are there. We're on iHeartRadio, we're on TuneIn, we're on Speaker. You can also go to Beat Break Radio 87, BeatBreakRadioFM.com, and on the site, guys, you can click on the banner, the links. It'll take you to iHeart, it'll take you to the Listen Now, take you to Speaker, TuneIn, everywhere you need to be listening to the Random Select podcast and Beat Break 87 FM. Also, don't forget, if you want to catch the shows on demand, you can download the Beat Break mobile app. And don't forget, guys, the Random Select podcast re-airs Monday through Friday from 10 to 12 p.m. So enjoy it while it lasts, people. Enjoy it while it lasts. So, you had the All-Star game go on this weekend. I'm interested to know, does it still have that same luster as it used to have, back when Bird and was in the three-point contest, Dominique and Jordan and all those guys was going at it? I don't know, Does it still have luster for you? Do you even care? Or is it just, a I don't know, a weekend for all the rich guys to get together and have fun. Wish I was one of those rich guys getting together having fun, you know. But either way it go, we're gonna talk about it all. But I definitely want to talk about real quick, speaking of basketball, you know, LeBron James and Kevin Durant was on an ESPN podcast, right? And they was asked specific questions about the president, and they had their own individual opinions. Now, just because these guys aren't politicians or aren't political experts doesn't mean that they can't have an opinion about this current president. You know, as everybody like to call them, and in the black community, we call him 45, you know, so everybody got an opinion, and they can't be crucified for having their opinion. I don't know, what spurred this on, but I guess looking at the current climate of what's going on with the presidency and what he's, you know, been prone to say through his Twitter, through his tweets and the things that come out of his mouth. Come on, man. You know, I mean, how much more covering up, hiding, and behind the scenes stuff we gonna do for this president? It is what it is at this particular point, you know? And I just don't think that Laura Ingraham had the right to, you know, to tell these guys to shut up and dribble. Because if you got an opinion and you see some injustices and you see things that are going on wrong, you know, everybody always saying, see something, say something. Except when it comes to the president, you know, you're supposed to be able to see it, but you're supposed to keep your mouth shut. So we're going to get into the original thing that happened, then we're going to get into her response to it, and then we just going to let the show flow from there, you know. And I hate that these guys were put in this particular situation, but you can speak on politics even though you're not a quote unquote political expert. And I get tired of people saying that you have to be an expert in order to recognize and see when something wrong. You know, if someone came who don't know me and slapped me, I don't have to be an expert in being slapped to know that him slapping me was wrong. That's all I'm saying. So we're going to get into the clip. We're going to play that, and then we just going to keep the show rolling.
A rich, spoiled pro athlete talks smack about Trump. He'll get smacked back when we come back. All right, we're going to create a new banner. This is a Jumdoc alert. NBA superstar LeBron James is talking politics again, and this time it's R-rated. Here's his barely intelligible, not to mention ungrammatical take on President Trump in a new ESPN podcast.
The number one job in America, the point of person, is someone who doesn't understand the people and really don't give a about the people.
But wait, there's more gripping insight. ESPN host Carrie Champion asked James and fellow NBA star Kevin Durant about what she described as Trump's racist comments.
I feel like our team as a country is not ran by a great coach.
It's not even a surprise when he says something. It's not even a surprise. It's like laughable. It's like
it's laughable.
It's laughable and it's scary.
But it's also scary because I shouldn't be numb to your racist comments.
Right.
I shouldn't be numb to your behavior.
I'm numb to this commentary. Like, must they run their mouths like that? Unfortunately, a lot of kids and some adults take these ignorant comments seriously. Look, there might be a cautionary lesson in LeBron for kids. This is what happens when you attempt to leave high school a year early to join the NBA. And it's always unwise to seek political advice from someone who gets paid $100 million a year to bounce a ball. Oh, and LeBron and Kevin, you're great players, but no one voted for you. Millions elected Trump to be their coach. So keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble.
Okay, final thing that I hate. So LeBron James went after President Trump yesterday and said that President Trump doesn't give a bleep about the people. This prompted Laura Ingraham to go on a diatribe against LeBron James. Here's what LeBron James had to say.
Ron, you called the president a bum.
Yeah, straight up.
How do you describe the climate for an athlete with a platform nowadays that want to talk about what's happening in our world?
Well, the climate is hot. The number one job in America, the point of person, is someone who doesn't understand the people and really don't give a about the people. When I was growing up, there were like 3 jobs that you look for inspiration or you felt like these were the people that can give me life. It was the president of the United States. It was whoever was the best in sports. and then it was like the greatest musician at the time. You never thought you can be them, but you can grab inspiration from. I feel like I can be, you know, if it was a neighborhood African-American cop and he was cool as hell coming around, you know, I feel like I could be him.
It's easy to be.
Yeah, I could be him, but I never felt I could be the president of the United States, but I grabbed inspiration from that. And this time right now, with the president of the United States, it's at a bad time. And while we cannot change what comes out of that man's mouth, we can continue to alert the people that watch us, that listen to us, as this is not the way.
Now listen, LeBron has every ability to speak out about these things, and he's obviously got a big platform, and people listen to what he says. I don't think it makes him a political expert by any stretch of the imagination. When he points out that the president has not done a good job of connecting with a lot of people in the United States, this is obviously true during the election cycle. It was true after the election cycle. So there's some truth to this. I'm not, as a general rule, in favor of people who have not spent a fair bit of time studying politics, speaking with authority about politics. I will say that what LeBron is saying here, there's an element of truth to what LeBron is saying here with regard to the president's capacity to reach out to people. He needs to do a better job of reaching out to people, but it would help if people would also reach out to the president, meaning if LeBron reached out to Trump and said, you know, I want to start a dialogue with you, I think that would be more useful than him sitting there and griping about Trump per se. Although, listen, he has every right to do it.
All right, guys, you heard that. And what we're going to play is her response to that. You know, several people had called her out for what she said and what she did. So we're going to see if that plays out the way that she thought it was. But she had a very interesting response. And then after she come back with her rebuttal, then we'll talk some more right here on the Random Select Podcast, guys.
I called those remarks barely intelligible, not to mention ungrammatical. And last night, which is difficult to dispute, and the left erupted. Slate's piece was titled, "In Insulting LeBron James, Laura Ingraham Proves James' Point About Racism." Oh, okay. It accused me of, quote, something vile and racist. Almost all the stories accused me of dog whistle commentary, and many claim my line that LeBron should shut up and dribble was racist. What? I wrote a book 15 years ago, fairly well known, New York Times bestseller, called Shut Up and Sing. And I've been using variants of that title to call out political celebrities for 15 years without regard for skin color, where you came from, what you do. By the way, including on this show. All right, Burgess, you can take it away. You know, these guys are big guys. They're incredibly talented on the court. But boy, they can dish it out to Trump, use the F-bomb, you know, call him, you know, all sorts of names, say he doesn't care about people. All this stuff, but when I call them out for their insipid commentary, they immediately throw down the race card.
Well, Laura, this is the new norm for the left. When white conservative calls a black liberal clueless, they're called racist. If white liberals call a black conservative Uncle Tom, they're called enlightened. This is what these people do. They're bullies. They don't want to talk about topics. And I'll say this, the problem we're having now is we have too many, quote, leaders that are going from poor to wealthy, going to becoming elitist and skipping through what's called middle class. Middle class is where you find empathy, service, and understanding and relationship, and we're missing that. So all of a sudden these elitists are becoming our leaders as if they know everything, and they don't. So we have to put that in perspective and realize that these are athletes, these are entertainers, and look at them as entertainers and nothing more. They're not experts in anything else but dribbling and singing and running a football. That's it.
Come on. I mean, it's just, act like a clown. I mean, he's done a lot of good stuff, like a lot of good charity work. But if you're going to talk like that, you're going to act like that, and you talk like that about the President of the United States, I'll tell you something, if you're a white NBA player and you said that stuff that he said about Obama, you'd never play again.
Oh, no question about it. I think he called the President of the United States a bum, and used the F-bomb in describing him in that ESPN podcast as well.
Kevin Durant said the comment, shut up and dribble, is racist.
Oh, my goodness.
Today.
Well, you know,
very sensitive.
Well, here it is, the tail of the tape. We've got Kevin Durant, about 7'1" or something like that. And we've got
6'9".
And we've got Laura Ingraham here at 5'6", 5'7", something like that. 5'7" with heels, maybe.
Thank you.
And he's running away from you. I mean, that, you know, for guys that are winning NBA championships and have that kind of stature, it's a little.
Well, why do you throw
weak.
down the race card? Look, this is my point, Burgess. If you want to be a political pundit, you're coming on my court. Okay, let's do it. Let's have a real conversation about black unemployment. Let's talk about violence in the inner city. Let's talk about all the issues like school choice, and let's
see. The problem with all of this is that she just, I don't want to make this a racial issue, right? I don't want to even say that, but it has some racial undertones. But let's just give her the benefit of the doubt to say that it's not racially motivated. But I will tell you what it is motivated by. It's not a racial issue. It's a shut up and play basketball because you're a dumb jock issue, right? I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt to say that it's not racial at all. But she just can't stand the thought to think that someone would be attacking 45. And granted, he's our president. And like Chris Rock said, it just may work out, but doesn't seem that way. But she can't stand to think that someone that's not proficient in politics, that's not a quote unquote expert on politics, that have an opinion about politics. And that's what this pretty much boils down to. You know, she says she want to get him on the shoulder so they could debate things going on, you know, with black unemployment, school choice, and inner city issues and things of that nature. Coming from a person who's probably never been in the inner city or lived in the inner city a day in her life, she want to talk to a person that was born in the inner city, raised in the inner city, lived in the inner city for the majority part of his life up until he became a professional athlete. I find it real funny that people from the suburbs and places that's not the inner city or apartments or hoods, as we like to say, love to debate people about the life and the quality of what's going on in the hood when you've never set foot there. That is definitely one of my pet peeves. I was just talking to one of my friends the other day, and she was telling me that I have too much trust and faith in my black people, because she said, we was talking about the movie Black Panther, and a lot of people saying that Black Panther maybe didn't go far enough as far as saying that they maybe should have showed where Wakanda, and I don't want to give no spoiler, where they just would have showed the nation that Black Panther was from, should have kind of took over and showing how they ruled the world and enslaved white people and things of that nature. And she's saying the black people is not ready for that, because if they would have showed something like that, we'd have been riding in the streets feeling like we want to go out and kill white people and stuff like that. And I said, that is not true. There's no evidence or history to say if we see a movie that's that powerful, we want to go out and kill white people. People watch Root for years, and Root's the new generation, and saw all type of things happen to black people. If the reverse side of that didn't make you want to go out and kill white people, then seeing us empowered and with them being enslaved definitely not going to make you want to go out and kill people. And I was telling her, I think we're past a point in that time, you know, it passed a point where that could be an issue. But she wanted to argue me down. And now this is the type of person that when she argues, she don't know how to have a point where she go up to and say, okay, we've had an impasse, let's just agree to disagree. Then she'll get mad because you can't see it her way and want to take the argument to a whole nother level, because she just has to be right no matter what. I'm the type of person where if we get to a point where you're not going to agree with me, I'm not going to agree with you, and we just can't see it, you know, the same way, we just come to a mutual point where we just both agree that, hey, let's just disagree and let's move on. She will argue until y'all physically or get into a real argument about something that really doesn't matter in the big scheme of things, but because she feels she has to be right. She's one of those black women that feel that once she talk about something, if it has to be right because she see it. And I tell her all the time, just because you see it and just because you dream it up and think it up in your head does not make it true, right? So, but that's definitely one of my pet peeves, when people love to talk about inner city and love to talk about things that they're not familiar with. I mean, if you could flip that around and saying that, you know, that's like me going into somewhere talking about all my stock options, talking about, you know, bear markets and things of that nature, something that I'm not quite familiar with. And I understand that. And I get what somebody will say, well, you don't know, right? But here's the difference with living in a low income area or an impoverished area. See, I could go anywhere and talk to somebody, and I could learn and watch videos or go back to school, and I could learn about the stock market. Because I would be willing to. But somebody who's never been in a low income neighborhood or an impoverished neighborhood or low income bracket and don't know what it's like to live like that over a sustained period of time is not willing to go back from where they are now down and to live like that, right? And I ain't saying that they should, because the whole purpose of life is to try to do better and try to put yourself in an elevated situation so you don't have to deal with certain things. But the difference is I can learn what you're talking about. You will never ever know the struggle of coming up like that or living like that, and that's the big difference. And I tell people this all the time. I don't want you to ever know. That's the thing I'm trying to tell you. I don't want you to ever know, because you shouldn't have to subject you, your kids, or anybody to a low income or impoverished situation, because it makes things manifesting you that stick with you your whole life, last forever, and some mental shackles you get on are hard to come off, and some of us go to our grave with those mental shackles still on us, because we've been shown one way and it's been beaten and ingrained into your head that that's the only way you can be, so that's the only way you do know. That's the only thing you do know. But you got to get to the point where you open up your mind and expand. We always asking other races and people to expand when it comes to us. Show us in a different light as black people, right? Show us that we could be, kings and queens in these movies. Show us that we could be superheroes. We want everybody to expand their thoughts and how they look at us. But sometimes I find that we don't want to expand our thoughts and how we look at other people. And that's the problem with a lot of things. Everybody wants their thing their way, and that's that. No matter how open-minded you say you are, everybody got an agenda that they want to push. No matter how Christian or spiritual or religious you think you are, everybody got an agenda they want to push. Everybody got something that they feel needs to be out in front of everybody else's thing, and that only makes you human. You're trying to fight for what you feel is right for you. You're trying to fight for your rights, trying to fight for your people, your family, your friends, whatever the thing is that you feel most dear to you. That's what you're fighting for. Now, getting back to the LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and the Laura Ingraham thing, she is just kind of ticked off or feel maybe some type of way. I don't even want to say she offended, but I'm just gonna say, in the black community we say feel some type of way, and that could fall up on a lot of categories. We're gonna say she feels some type of way about them having an opinion about this president. And I don't understand how a lot of people can keep defending this president with some of the things that he's saying. It's okay to have personal private thoughts and personal private conversations inside of your home, inside of the White House, but you are the head, as they say, of the free world. Some things that you say just cannot get outside of your circle. We all have messed up dialogues inside our own personal homes, and that don't make us racist. That's just sometimes you just spitting out the truth of certain situation, or you just bringing a little levity to your household and you laugh because there are stereotypes about all type of cultures and races and things like that sometimes we laugh at, which is okay because we're human. But that don't make you feel like you have to go out into the world and spread that doctrine and put that out there, So we got to get to the point where we got to understand and look at things realistically. Like, if you're a man and your wife don't want to hold your hand out in public, your wife feel the need that pull away from you if you try to rub her shoulders or hug her or caress her or anything like that, that's a problem. No matter how people want to say Donald Trump is doing whatever, he's, unemployment rate and all this stuff. Okay, fine. All right. Give him that, even though some of these policies was in place under the Obama administration. Okay, but let's just give him that. Something internally is going on when your wife do not want to touch you, right? And that's a real legitimate thing. We got to really look at that. When your wife do not want to touch you, that means something is truly and really going on. But we can't see that. Not we. The people who supported Trump can't see that there's issues. He keep having, alleged allegations after allegation after allegation come up when it comes to women. But we seem like we all turning a blind eye to it. You know, it seems like everybody else is getting caught and thrown under the bus. Everybody else, demons are flying out the closets, skeletons are flying out the closets, everybody except Trump. Why is that? Because he's a sitting president and we just don't want that to happen. We just don't need that scandal or that type of thing to go on in the country right now. Why is that? I don't know. But I'm going to leave that right there. I just wanted to say that LeBron and Durant have the right to speak on political issues. Do we forget that Bill Russell, Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jim Brown, all those people made stances and took political stances back in the day. And that's maybe what's wrong with us right now. Maybe we're looking at the sports people too much as just sports people. And maybe we should start thinking about what else they could do, because they got the biggest platform out there. They got the world and the kids listening to them. So if you want to try to get something done and want to try to push something, who better to try to make some change or make some moves around here than the people that the kids are listening to, that the young people are listening to, that the world is listening to. Because it damn sure ain't Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton anymore. Damn sure ain't them. So who? You know, that's what we got to ask ourselves. Who's the next people in line that we're listening to that can actually move the needle a little bit and make a change? Right? That's what we got to ask ourselves.
Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
Hi, this is Clifford English, your host and producer of The Gospel Train. Join me every Sunday right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. You will be encouraged, you will be equipped, you will be educated, you will be entertained, all while hearing the best in gospel music. Don't miss your connection with The Gospel Train right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist, Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin P. Montgomery. I invented a goat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela!
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation is when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high to have no affiliation to a political party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Beat Break 87 FM wants to help you get the word out on your next community event.
Hey, do you have an upcoming public service announcement that you want listeners to know about? Well, email us the info to psabeatbreak87@gmail.com so we can help spread the word. That's psabeatbreak87@gmail.com. If your event flyer has the words nonprofit, community, support, charity, and just describes everything about helping our community, please share the special event right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
When it comes to hip-hop,
don't stop.
R&B, does it better than Beat Break 87 FM.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Break. Let me welcome you back into the Random Select Podcast. It's the podcast that's all about thought-provoking talk, and I am your host, Mario, right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio live. Guys, let me ask you a question. Do you think that when you love somebody, you love them with all your heart, you love them with everything you got, your spirit, your soul, and then you give them chance after chance after chance once they cheat on you? How much is enough before you actually call it quits? Because in our heart, we know when it's time to leave. We know when it's time to check out on a person. We know when it's over, but you love so hard and you love so much, you just want to give them that chance. You want to just believe in your heart because you think they're the right person for you, that it's me, that I should be giving them another chance. But sometimes people show you that while you're loving them, they're out there busy loving themselves. And sometimes when a person loves themselves, you can't fix them. You can't help them. How many chances do you give a person before you just say, I'm done? I mean, you're done crying. You're done, stressing. You're done chasing them. You're done begging and pleading for them to love you. I mean, how many chances do you give a person? And we've all been there. And for the people that haven't been there, and you've probably been that person on the other side of the fence that someone is begging for you to love them, it's not a really good feeling, It's not a good feeling to know that no matter what you do, no matter how you come at a person, that they just can't get right to love you because you are a beautiful person and you deserve to be loved. And that's one of those things that break you down and leave those type of mental scars that leave you messed up for the long haul, leave you messed up for other people. And then somebody else has to come in and try to fix this. And usually the first person that comes in after the person broke your heart or did you wrong can't be the person to fix you, because you think you're ready to move on, but life and situations and circumstances kind of show you that you're not. And then that other person says, what's wrong with this person? Why won't they let me in? Why can't we get close? But the reason they can't let you in and the reason you can't get close, because they haven't healed. So the clip that I'm going to play for you guys is just a lady who's at her wit's end. She's giving a person a chance after chance, giving the man a chance. And I know you guys probably have heard this on the internet, probably seen it on the internet and things of that nature. But I just wanted to talk about it because when I saw it, I felt her pain. I felt her frustration. I felt her hurt. I felt her just sense of being betrayed by that person, and it kind of puts me back into a moment where I had in my life where I felt betrayed by a person, where I felt that we had something good going. We had something that I thought we built, and then all of a sudden one night it came crashing and crumbling down around me. And my situation was so messed up where after I confronted the person, we just held each other that night and we kind of just cried together, because she knew and I knew that it was over, because that type of betrayal, that type of just hurt can't be rectified. You can't fix that, the type of damage that was done to me. So when I hear her talk, it definitely reminds me of my situation. And I'm going to play the clip and I'm going to let you guys hear it. And then after you guys hear it, I'm going to come back and I'm going to explain my story to you guys. And you'll kind of understand why I choose to put this in today's show. And it's just one of those things that just, brought back some old feelings and memories in me. Kind of made me realize where I was as opposed to how I've grown into where I am at now. So listen to this and then we'll get right back into the show.
Whispered in the closet that you want to apply your faith to the situation. Then apply your faith.
Since then, I found out about more. And I don't want to hold on to somebody who I cannot trust.
You see, I have been trying since the very beginning. The situation gets a little worse, and then I try to forgive, and it gets a little worse, and I try to forgive. You gonna keep adding people? You gonna keep adding people? You gonna keep adding people? I thought we had a good life just like everybody else watching. I thought we was the ideal relationship just like everybody else. And I got to find out in front of the whole goddamn world that all of my life was a lie? And you want me to quote scriptures right now?
I don't want you to quote
want me to say what I don't, you want me to say something that's all positive? I feel negative right now.
I know that.
I just want you to understand that.
I know that.
I never kissed another man. I never went out with another man. I never entertained the wrong conversation. I never cheated in my head. I never did anything. I was 190% committed to that man. And this is what you did every time I was gone? You stole my life away from me. I'm angry. Why you gotta do me like this? I was good to you, man. I was good to you. I was good to you. I don't want him. I don't want him. I don't want him. I don't want him. He don't deserve me. I don't want him. I had hope when all of this started, when I let the whole world know about it. I thought we was healing because he had me thinking that we was healing. You can't keep telling me stuff a little bit. You wait 3 months, then you tell me something else. Then you wait 2 weeks, and you tell me something else. You torturing me, man. You torturing me. Why you putting me through all of this? Break my heart once. You gonna break my heart every month? Come on, man. You taking all the strength that I got inside of me. Just give it all to me. Knock me all out at once. I got a knockout punch every week. That's too much for anybody, Erica. It's too much, Erica.
I know.
It's too much.
I know.
It's too much.
I know. Well, we know what to do. We know the steps to get better.
That right there is impossible.
So you said you never been through this, right? I have. Listen to me for a second. You ain't never been through it. I have. I'm going to tell you how you get better. Even though you want to be negative, you make a conscious effort and a decision like you fighting a on the street and work toward positive. That's all you can do. That's the only choice you have.
Y'all want me to be safer than I am.
I don't.
I love Jesus. I want to be like Jesus, but I'm not Jesus.
Tina, I know you're not.
You could definitely understand where she's coming from, you know, because we all have had moments in our life where we just felt like we've had enough. Even after we've given a person chance after chance after chance after chance, we still find ourselves, well, we want to have that faith. We want to do the right thing, but we just can't, you know, because how many times you're going to get burned before you decide that you just want to take your hand out the fire, you know? And I just want to share a story with you guys on a personal level. You know, this is not a made up story. This is a real true thing that happened to me, but I will change the names to protect the innocent. But let me just try to set the stage. When I was younger, right? I was dating a young lady, and you know, we fell in love so I thought. And it was all good. Everything was fine. And we were going through the paces. We were doing all the stuff that, you know, young love do. And at the time I was in college, she was in college, and we wanted to just, you know, be together and things of that nature. But somewhere along the way, she decided that she wanted to be a model, and which I had no problem with, because if that was my girl, that was my woman, that was my boo, I was going to support her no matter what, you know, no matter what her dream was. I was going to be there for her. I was going to make it happen, you know. But she got so focused on the modeling that she decided that school wasn't an option. So I'm still in school. So I decided, you know, I'm going to work 2 jobs. I'm going to make it happen. But, you know, that was back like in the 90s when, you know, modeling was like that cool scam. You know, you get these girls to pay all this money to take pictures. You promise them the world, but deliver them nothing but sand. You know what I mean? So at the time, but, you know, unbeknownst to her and to me, we didn't know, you know. So I had 2 jobs. I was still going to school, driving back and forth from Atlanta to Statesboro, you know, just trying to help her dream come true, you know, make it all happen, because that's what I thought a good man did at the particular time. And you know, we was gonna try to make it, do our best. Now, what kind of had made us really tight and really bond, a year before that, she had got pregnant, and she had a miscarriage and lost a baby. And so through that negative event in our life that brought us close to each other, through that tragedy, we kind of formed a bond that it was me and her against the world, Bonnie and Clyde type of stuff. And we just figured we would make it happen. It was going to be us, and nothing was going to come in between us and tear us apart. Yeah, so I thought. So she decided she wasn't going to go to school anymore. And I said, all right, this is a very bad idea. I think you should stay in school because you can still model and pursue your modeling dreams and get your education at the same time. But she was just so hell-bent on being a model, so hell-bent on she was going to make it, that she decided she was going to drop out of school. And she said if I loved her, I would support her. Even though in my hearts of heart, I knew that was the wrong move. That was not the move to make. Stay in school no matter what, just in case this modeling thing didn't fall through, you'd have something to fall back on, And that's what I always tried to tell her. That's what I tried to sell to her, no matter how things look. So fast forward the story. So at that particular time, I finished school, so we moved back to Atlanta. And at that particular time, I guess she started to realize that the modeling thing was going slower than she anticipated. So at that point, I'm still working 2 jobs, but I had finished school. So I said, hey, look, I understand you want to be a model, and I get it, right? But can you at least get a job, part-time job, or something to help me out with these bills? I'm trying to pay for a townhouse. And a car, at that time you young, you know what I'm saying? So all this stuff is coming at you every which way but loose, and at this particular point we're barely seeing each other because I'm working 2 jobs and, she's going on all these different modeling things, so I thought, and you got to remember when you're in Atlanta, right? And you're doing the whole modeling thing, you're going to meet a lot of shady characters. You're going to meet a lot of people that's going to, put all these high promises in front of you that's not going to deliver anything. So she finally started hanging out with this girl that was kind of like a party girl, club girl. So they started hanging out, and she would come home like 2-3 in the morning. But she said, hey, such and such is going to be here. They said, if you want to do this, you want to do that, show up at this place. This is where the people who in the in crowd, the modeling people, go. So paid it no mind because I believed in her. I loved her. I trust her, and so I never thought that she would ever step out on me because I'm over here killing myself trying to make sure you have your dream. Photo shoots were costing $1,000, so I'm trying to make this happen. So didn't say anything. So one night she came home and came through the door, and she was a little tipsy. Now, this is a person who never drinks. She cared about her body, cared about working out and things of that nature. We all kind of did, back in them days when all of us was in shape, had good bodies and things of that nature. My, how things have changed. So I said, what's going on? And this is before the era of cell phones and things of that nature. So, she didn't want to explain. She said, yeah, I may have had a little bit to drink, but, I only had 1 glass of wine, and I don't drink, so it crept up on me. All right, that's a fair assessment. That's a fair story. So about 30 minutes later, I get a knock at the door, and it's already about 2:30 in the morning. So the guy who brought her home, which shouldn't have been a guy at all because she just told me her best friend brought her home, he knocked on the door and said, hey, you left your pocketbook in the car. I want to say thank you. We had a great time. We should party again. Here's my number, and, he was like, do you have a man? And she's standing there looking like, shut up. I'm like, dude, you got a man? I'm like, dude, you don't see me standing here? I'm standing right here. So he just kept talking like I was invisible. So, all right, didn't say anything about that. And then he's saying, you don't have to worry about that little thing, the condom didn't bust, that's what he said right there. You don't have to worry about that little thing you were worried about. The condom didn't break. And at that particular point, as anybody would, I lost it. Like, what? Starting to, go off and saying what you're doing at my door and all this type of stuff. Cause instead of taking out all my frustration and all my anger and directing that at her, the first thing we do is attack the messenger, and that's one of them true things you learn as you get older. Don't shoot the messenger. This dude didn't do anything. If she would have been honest and it would have been forthright with this dude, ain't no telling how the night went out. So this is the first moment where I found out, wait, you cheated on me? You know, after I calmed down, it really hit me that, wait, you cheated on me? You know, and now fast forward rewind this just a little bit. Now, when I was in school, I played football, right? And I was on the football team, and girls and cheerleaders and people all over the place were throwing themselves at me. I could have had my pick of the litter. I could have did whatever I wanted to, but I wasn't built like that, you know, at least not at that moment. I wasn't built like that. I loved her because after we lost the baby, I just felt that this woman loved me enough to stick with me, could have blamed me and said it was me, or, you know, all type of mental stuff that people go through when they go through tragedies and stuff like this. I said in my hearts of heart, I owe it to this woman to be faithful to her because we've been through a lot. Tragedy brought us close. Or so I thought. So I said, what happened? She was like, oh, I got tipsy and you know, one thing led to another, and before I knew it, bam, 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 this happened. And I said, okay, this is how you know you love a person, because you say, okay, you hurt me, and in my lowest moment I am so hurt, but I still feel like I love you enough to overcome this hurt. So I will forgive you. Don't let it happen again. And I'm saying it real cool like this, but it took a couple weeks for me to actually start back talking to her and things of that nature. But I just knew that I wasn't ready for that relationship to end. I loved her. And it's nothing nobody could have done or nobody could have said that would have changed that. At that moment, I swore I love her, right? So after those 2 weeks, when we started back talking, everything got kind of right. Everything got good again. And so we talking and I said, okay, well, what you should do is get you a little job or something. So she got her a job. And when she got her job, she started working a regular normal job. She was like working at a senior citizen home or something like that. She was working in the kitchen, you know, doing something in the kitchen, right? I think not cooking or anything like that. I think she was in the dietary department, helping people put meal plans and stuff like that together for the elderly. So no biggie, but she was still going out on during the day, doing her modeling thing, and she would still occasionally every so often go out at night. And at that particular time, every time she left that door at night, I just did not feel good about it. Did not have a good feeling about it. I just felt like every time she left that door, my mind was wondering. I could not sleep. I went through all these emotional gamuts. If she stayed gone too long, I started to get angry. Then when I wouldn't hear from her and it got even longer, I started to feel worried because is she okay and things of that nature. Because once somebody cheat on you or once somebody break that trust, that infidelity, your mind go all over the place. You feel like you can't trust again. You know, you feel like something major has to happen in order for you to trust her again. Now, I say all this to tell this story to say that a lot of women in today's world will say that all men are no good, say that men are dogs, and always think that the source of their pain and their hurt comes from a man. And y'all can't see it no other way because this is the culture, this is the environment that has been pressed upon women to think that every time a woman's hurt is hurt, that a man did it to her. And every time that a man and a woman break up, it's got to be the man's fault because there's no way on God's green earth that the woman could have done anything wrong to mess it up. And that's a stereotype we got to break. Not all women are good women. The majority of them are. And don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating saying that all men good. No, men definitely messed it up. Men definitely probably hurt women more than women hurt men. But I'm just saying that for every paragon or every paradox, there's going to be an opposite end of every spectrum. As me and my friends like to say, the pendulum swings. You know, at some point, it's going to come around to your side. And not every woman has the best intentions or know how to handle love like you would think that a woman would. So, getting back to the story. So at this particular point, I'm just on pins and needles. I mean, honestly, I was such an emotional wreck. And I know that sounds like something that a woman would say, But we got to get past that stereotype too, saying that men don't have feelings. We supposed to be walking around hard all the time, walking around with our butt cheeks squeezed so tight that we could crack walnuts. That's how y'all see us. Y'all don't see us as could potentially have anxieties and depressions over relationships. To y'all think that we treat everybody like, the number 4 bus, in 15 minutes another one's coming. But I don't want another number 4 bus. I want my number 4 bus. And to me, she was my number 4 bus. I didn't want anything else. I wanted her, So when she finally came through the door, we had this weird pause, awkward silence, because I didn't know what to say to her. I didn't want to come at her in a negative way, yelling, fussing, and cussing and things like that. So I just said, all right, let me see how to approach this. I'm going to let her open up the dialogue. I'm going to let her talk and see where she's at, So she just said, I'm sorry. It went past where we were supposed to be, but I promise you on everything that I love, And she even put our child that we lost in it. I put that on little Mario, that I didn't do anything, I didn't cheat. So I just figured if this woman was able to just say I put it on Mario Jr. that I didn't cheat, she had to be telling the truth, because there's no way, on any dimension, on any universe, that this woman would lie on that. So, all right, it's all good, so that's how I'm feeling. It's all good. I take it and we roll with it. So, fast forward to that summer, she started hanging out with her best friend from high school. And they would, hang out and go places on the weekends whenever we wasn't hanging out, because I said to myself, maybe I was working too much because I'm working 2 jobs and I just gave her too much time for her mind to wander, too much time for another man to come in and penetrate my world, come in and speak things into my woman's head that I should be speaking into my woman's head. So I said, I'm going to cut one of these jobs out so I can spend more time with you. And I did that. I said, I'll never let this happen on my watch again, ever. I was like Shaka Zulu. I vowed to never let this happen again. So we started hanging out more, and I started to try to take up more of her time. If she had to go on a photo shoot, I tried to make sure that I was available to take her to it. She wanted to go out to the club and hang out, to be at these places where all these people go to be. I made sure that I was there, because never did I want to put myself in a position where I felt that type of anger, felt that type of hurt, and feel that type of betrayal again. I was never going to go through that. That's what I vowed to myself. So, that summer went well. We hung out. I thought we had built back some things, and I had started that whole feeling of anxiousness, that whole feeling of wonder what she's doing and where she's at and who she's with had went away. So, it was October at this time. And I remember this because it's one of those real traumatic events in my life that you just never forget. It's one of them defining moments when you look back at your life's timeline, and you could definitely pick this moment out of a lot of moments that happened in my life. This moment will never ever leave my mind. The only way this happens if I catch dementia, Alzheimer's, or something like that. So the summer was over with. We head into the fall, and we get to October. And when October came around, she said at the very end of October, she told me that her and Kalenda was going to a Halloween party. I had to work that particular time, but by then I had felt that the trust was back. I had felt a confidence level with her that I hadn't felt in months because of the first thing that happened, And here's the kicker to the whole thing. Also, I had another reason to trust her. By that time, she had told me she was pregnant. Right? So I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling like, okay, I'm about to start a family. Everything is good. I got the trust back. She's pregnant by me. And I didn't even once think that, it could be another person's kid, because, we had built something back, And I explained to her, I said, we were sitting around talking one day, and I just said, hey, let me tell you something. I had to get it off my chest. I wanted to be completely honest with her. I said, that night when I found out you cheated, I have never been so hurt in my life. And I said that if this is the way it feels when us men cheat on women, I don't think I'll ever be able to cheat on a woman. So I just had to let her know just exactly how I felt. Now she knows this going forward. So get back to the Halloween party. She called me up at work and said, "Hey, I'm going to a Halloween party with Calenda. I'll probably stay at Calenda's house, and we'll and I'll come home in the morning." So didn't even think nothing about it. Okay, the Halloween party happened. Everything went good, and everything was fine. All right, so fast forward this all the way into Christmas. Her friend called the house and said, "Hey, is so-and-so home?" And I said, "No, she's not home." She said, "Because I want to ask her to go to a New Year's Eve party." And I said, "Okay, cool." I said, "Y'all just been partying. Y'all went on a Halloween party. Now y'all going to a New Year's Eve party." She said, "I didn't go to no Halloween party with Gwen." I say, "Wait, what?" So, and that's when every feeling that I had came rushing back to me. Now, one little tidbit I didn't tell you guys was that she was asking about a Halloween party. Just a few days before that, on Christmas Day, I proposed to her, bought wedding rings, and asked her, "Will you marry me? Will you be my wife?" This is why she was pregnant, because I didn't want her to have the baby out of wedlock. And she looked me right in my eyes and cried and said, "Yes." Can you imagine? Looked me right in my eyes and she said yes. So going forward, when she got home that night, and I asked her, I said, "Calenda called and asked if you wanted to go to a New Year's Eve party." And she said, "Oh, that's nice of Calenda." I said, "Yeah, you sound like fun." I said, "I think if you don't mind, I want to go with you guys, because I haven't been out in a while. I've been working so much lately. And, it'll help me pay off those wedding rings, even though I had bought, even though she don't even understand that I had worked all this overtime and I bought the rings straight up. I owned them, there was no payment plans, anything like that." And then I said, Calenda told me about y'all Halloween party. It was really great," she said. And then she just looked at me, and I could see the life leave her eyes. I could see the life leave her body, because she knew that I knew. She just started crying. I mean, tears just rolled down her eyes, and it's just one of them type of things where you come to the realization where I told you that if you did this again, there could be no us, there could be no me and you. And literally, we didn't even talk. We just went to the room, we laid in the bed, and we just she laid on my chest, and I just held her, and both of us just kind of cried, for the whole night. We didn't say a word. Then she got up that morning, packed her stuff, and then she went to her mom. I drove her and took her to her mom's house. And this is all why she was pregnant with my child. So this is why that video makes me understand you can only take so much. You can only get your heart ripped out so many times before you say no, not again. So I just wanted to leave that with you guys and just let you know that sometimes you can only take so much, guys. All right. We're going into the break, and then when I come back from the break, we're going to talk some Black Panther right here on the Random Select Podcast, guys.
This is Atlanta's new underground station.
How you doing? This is Wood Harris.
Hi, this is Jasmine Guy.
What's going on in Atlanta? This is Clifton Powell.
Hey guys, it's Niecy Nash from TV Land's The Soul Man. This is Cat Williams.
Check this out. This is your boy RL from NEXT.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Lunel.
What's up, ATL? It's your girl Ken of Atlantic Records.
Hi, I'm Taraji P. Henson.
WBS 87 Atlanta, WAEN FM Atlanta, WBHH, and on iHeartRadio, home of the Beat Break Morning Show with Sean Garvey, DJ Rollum, and the Wake Up Ladies. Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Streaming online at BeatBreakRadioFM.com. Download the TuneIn app Atlantic. Hear Beat Break 87 FM on your mobile device and listen to the Beat Break Morning Show. Weekday mornings only on Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
What's up, ATL? Make sure that you check out the D Hill Radio Show on Beat Break 87 and BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. I tried to put it off, but I can't. It's on me. Tried to blame the other man, but I can't. It's on me. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Listen to Beat Break 87 FM on the go. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app from the app marketplace, including Amazon, Google Play, and the App Store. View photos, videos, and Beat Break 87 shows on your mobile device. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app now for free.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin P. Montgomery. I invented a boat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela.
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation? It's when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high to have no affiliation to a political party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Wake up weekday mornings to the Beat Break Morning Show and nod your head in bed to the 360 Mix Show. Weeknights on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Random Select Podcast, and I am your host, Mario, right here on Beat Break 87 FM, Atlanta's new underground station where music and talk radio lives. And as promised, we're going to talk Black Panther. Definitely got a chance to go check it out on Friday, the premiere day, where everybody was, it was mad all around the city, of Atlanta, but ironically where I went, it wasn't too bad. We were in and out, no fuss, no hassle or anything like that. The only problem I had, I went to see the movie in 3D, and to me it wasn't that great of an experience. I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of 3D movies, but that was the only showing that they had, the only type of movie they had for that particular showing, but I didn't want to miss the opening day of it. But recently, I went back on Sunday to watch it regular. Twice I've watched the movie. So I just want to talk about it a little bit. I think that, and I know a lot of you guys are going to hate me for this, but I think that, a lot of the storyline was predictable. But visually, it was a stunning representation of a good movie. And I think I like how they portrayed us, and I like how a lot of things were brought forth in the movie. If you paid attention to a lot of the movie, they put little subtle subliminal hints as to certain things in the movie, and I liked it. I mean, it is what it is. You gotta say This is the first time that they've given an Afro-American director $200 million to kind of play with, to make a film with, and to do good things with. And I think he didn't disappoint. I think he delivered aesthetically. I think it was a great movie. Now, was it one of the best Marvel movies? Probably not. But for what it was, and I keep this in perspective, it's kind of like I don't want to say the origin story, but maybe it's sort of like the backstory to him. And I just look forward to what happens and what they do moving forward to the as far as the Black Panther movies go, so it is what it was. I mean, and it had its moments where, you found yourself rooting for certain things and, had a little levity in it. But all in all, I think for what it represents and the type of showing that it had for making us come out and making us support and making us get together for a cause, I think it did its job worldwide. People coming out in the dashikis and the African garb and in their costumes, I think that was a great thing. I love the fact that it galvanized and brought us together in that particular way. So also I'm going to play a clip and let you hear Michael B. Jordan talk a little bit, and then I'm going to let you hear an African man talk about how around the world, how in South Africa, how they see the potential for this movie to be. So let's get into that.
What do you think this movie, this Black Panther solo movie, is going to mean for the continent of Africa?
Well, this movie is going to deal with the myth that if the white colonialists did not land in Africa, we'd still be walking in skins and chasing each other. This movie will prove we built the pyramids in Egypt. We'll prove the Timbuktu libraries of the history of mankind is in Africa. We'll prove that the Zimbabwe ruins were built by us. We'll prove that the cradle of humankind is in Southern Africa. So this is one time where African people are shown at the fullest potential when they are able to travel from space and back with incredible technology. So for us, there's a little seriousness about this movie.
Okay, I'm going to be totally honest. What was lost on me was the seriousness and how people were going to perceive this movie, how people were going to accept this movie. I was just strictly looking at it from a Marvel comic standpoint because I'm a Marvel fan. So I was just looking at it from the standpoint, comparing it to the other movies, Captain America, Civil War, the Avengers, Iron Man, and things of that nature. But after seeing so many people come out and saying what this movie meant, and as you just heard from a person who's lived on the continent, lived in certain countries in Africa, he's trying to tell you that it's trying to let you know that a lot of things that the world do not give Africa credit for, a lot of things that the colonizers, as they call them in the movie, would like to say that didn't happen. It goes to show you that even though it's based around fiction, shows you that inside of some fiction that we've been taught from since we came into this earth, inside of some conspiracy theories, inside of all lies, inside of all not truths, somewhere in there the truth is wrapped up in there. So as you get older and your brain start to develop and your conscience start to rise, you become more aware. You understand that some things that you learned as a child are just not true, and some things you learned as a child that they wanted you to believe were just not true, well, in fact, actually true. So I want to personally just say I apologize to the movie for the simple reason I did not know on the scale of how this would affect people. I did not know the bigness of it, the grand that people were waiting and starving for something like this to come along. And I like to consider myself a conscious black person, but I had no clue that people were starving for this, waiting for this to happen. And just to see everybody coming out in their African garbs and their dashikis and the costumes and just supporting this movie, I mean, it's a phenomenon. There's no other way to say it. I don't know what other word you could use. It's like, I don't know. It's like that Haley Comet, it's like once in a lifetime type thing, You can't explain it. It's quite simply put beautiful, you know, just to see how we could come together if there was a common call, if there was something to rally us, how we really could come together. And financially, we showed up and we showed out. So I'm just happy to see that happens. And I'm going on record to say that I apologize. I was too narrow-minded in my focus and my thinking about the movie. I just strictly kept it to the Marvel Universe, when obviously it was much more than that. So let's play a clip from Michael B. Jordan. And he's going to be talking about how the movie, they say black movies don't travel internationally. So we're just going to hear what he got to say about that.
Like, you know, whoever started the stereotype that black films don't travel overseas, and and you know, it's gonna take that away. It's gonna rewrite that narrative. I feel like. You know, we were in South Korea, and you know, after the journalists saw the film, you know, they showed up in their traditional garbs, you know, from you know, Indonesia and Malaysia and India, and for me, it was just like, it's making people proud of where they come from and their history and their culture and their heritage, and it's not just because, you know, you're pro-black, you know, doesn't mean you're anti-white or anti-anything. You know, you could be proud of where you come from, you know, and that's okay. You know. It's a movie for everybody, you know, and yeah, so anyway, with the box office and all that good stuff, I'm just glad that people are so excited about seeing this film.
See, and that's where I said before we played the clip, I just apologize, because, you know, this movie had more ramifications than we ever could have imagined that it would have, you know, which is a good thing, because, you know, for so many times we've got the bad rap that we can't get together, we can't rally for anything, and we only get together when there's some form of chaos or devastation. You know, the most common thing that we all get together for is injustice, which we're supposed to get together for injustice, but sometimes we let injustice be the reason we get together, but then we turn it into looting and to riot and to things that has nothing to do with injustice. And a lot of times you're looting and rioting in your own area. So when it's all said and done and order and peace is restored, you have nowhere to shop, you have nowhere to go eat, you have nowhere to get gas and things of that nature. So it's good to see that we all got together and come together in some type of positive way. And as he said, he was over in Indonesia, you know, and places like that, and they came out in their traditional garb and what they wear, that's indicative to their area, because they felt such a sense of pride that people of color were getting this type of movie. Showed us as kings and queens, wealthy with education and technology and the willingness to take care of our own. And that's all you can ask for a movie to kind of do, give you, portray you in a light that's not in the norm, not in the traditional way that we've always been portrayed. We wasn't housekeepers, you know, we wasn't in the fields, we wasn't do boys, henchmen, or anything like that. We were a nation of people, you know. Now, you had some separation inside of the nations, but that's always going to happen. But when it mattered, you know, they all rallied together. And I don't want to give too much on the movie. I don't want to, you know, give it a spoiler, because the movie still is fresh and everybody hasn't had a chance to see it. So I won't go into details and things of that nature. But I was also listening to a couple people talk about it this morning. And another thing that I heard someone say is that people are making fun of the fact that people came out in their dashikis and things of that nature. And when it boils down to it, we as black people, shouldn't we be happy that we found something we could be proud of, something that we can feel like above all else, you wear this so proudful that you don't mind the world to see? And they're always saying that we strayed so far from the 60s, from when we was taking care of each other, and when Martin Luther King and those people were fighting for our civil rights. We're no longer that group of people. Well, this is just a movie, but maybe this is the step in the right way to get us back to being that type of people that the older generation love to say that we are no more. And it's nothing wrong with having self-pride, because Lord knows they've been telling us for the last 10, 15 years we self-hate. Now when we come back in it, we have self-pride. Now people want to talk about it and complain about it. There's nothing wrong with a person wearing a dashiki to a place. It's pride. They proud. So I just don't understand why we so critical when it comes to things of that nature. You know, first y'all criticized us for self-hate, hating ourselves, saying that we hate our women and the men hate themselves. That's why we are turning to alternative lifestyle. That's why, you know, we a lot of men, you know, they saying go bisexual, they gay because it's self-hate. Say we hate our women because we hate our moms. Therefore, that's the way we treat our women, like that, because we couldn't do it. You know, we couldn't get back to the fact that we hate our moms. So we grew up and let that manifest outward so we can start hating our women. You know, all type of stuff you've heard over the years that psychologists and therapists and people who claim to study these type of things say that is wrong with the black man. But now that we actually want to show some solidarity and some unity and get together to show you how prideful we are and how much we love what the thought of this movie stands for, now we get criticized by our own people. And that's the sad part about it. Just because you don't want to wear a dashiki, fine, don't do it. That's well within your rights. But also be respectful and understand the person who's wearing it is well within their rights to wear it. And there's nothing wrong with being proud. You guys don't understand that Wakanda is a made up place. But for so many people, that might well be like, you know, Shangri-La for some people, you know, El Dorado or something like that. It kind of gives you something to strive for. It kind of lets you know that if Africa hadn't been raped, robbed, pillaged, and plundered and murdered, maybe Wakanda could have been a real place if so much colonization hadn't happened. You know, so around those fictional things, a lot of facts and things like that and hopeful wishing makes a person feel like Wakanda could be a place. T'Challa and the kingdom and the technology could be a real place. You know what I mean? Just imagine if Africa wasn't raped, pillaged, and plundered by the colonizers, you know. And I like using that word, you know, colonizers. It's a better word than saying some of the alternative stuff that we normally say for white people. And I'm not blaming white people for this, because there's plenty of white people out there that support the movies, plenty of white people out there that help black causes. I really I think it's more good white people than bad white people. But it seems like the bad white people puts out this illusion, puts out this thing that makes you think that they're the majority. So once we see that and we see them marching and we see stuff like that, we assume all people are like that. And I'm just here to tell you that no, not all white people are like that, you know. And I got a, you know, couple neighbors that I live by, you know, one across the street, you know, Jason and Tasha. You know, I don't know the inner workings of them, and I don't know how they truly are, but I just want to say on the surface they seem like really nice people. And during the football season, both our sons play on the same middle school football team. When I wasn't able to take my son back and forth, these people offered. I didn't go, hey, you know, I know y'all stay right across the street, can y'all take my son back? No, they offered. They was really good people. So I don't care what their color are. They were really good people. And that's what I'm trying to say. Some things, I just don't see color when it comes to certain things, because I got news for you. Some people are rotten no matter what color they are. Some people are not right no matter what color they are. So we got to stop breaking everything down into color, even though I understand that that's the elephant in the room. That's a major issue. It is some people out there that's all they see is color. But we got to rise above that and be better. Let's get back at people, not by trying to use violence and things like that. Let's get back at people by, you know, educating our people, raising everybody's awareness, raising everybody's intellectual level, raising everybody's financial status, raising everybody's quality of life. Let's get back at them that particular way. Because if you think about this as a race, they so far out in front of us, it's almost impossible for you to catch them. So you can't worry about running that race. You got to just get into the habit, go at your own pace and run your race. You understand? So let's stop making everything racial. And second of all, I would like to say to us black people, stop being negative about everything. You like the movie, fine. You don't have to go on people's page and write, Harry Potter book length posts about how the movie didn't do this, how the movie didn't do that. I thought that I've definitely seen better movies, but I'm not going to get on here and knock it. I thought about saying, hey, look, let's go the opposite direction of what everybody else is going and tell you, how I really felt about the movie, how it wasn't this and how it wasn't that. But then everything that it was overtook the negative to me. And sometimes we got to just give in to that good, positive vibe, that good, positive feeling that you have when it comes to certain things, and not let the negative overwhelm us. Too many times we let that negative, deep, dark hatred, jealousy, envy feeling take over. And then once it take over, we spew it out of our mouth. How about sometimes we let that positive encouragement, that insightful, that good stuff take over and let that come out of our mouth sometimes. And I don't mean by just saying be blessed. To me, be blessed is that thing that we've learned to say when we don't want to say anything else better than be blessed, because be blessed is kind of like that generic thing that we say now that make people assume, oh, they must be Christian, they must be good people. Just come out somebody say, be blessed. Be blessed is almost the spiritual equivalence of going, So, and in the black community, when somebody go, depending on what their tone is, they can mean different things. I could give you a couple of examples. If let's say I'm a guy who's been in trouble a few times and I'm talking to my mama, and I say, okay, mama, I'm gonna do right this time. I ain't going back to jail. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. And she give you, that means, yeah, right, I heard this before. And let's say that another example, somebody come back and they tell you, I'm going over here and I'm gonna get these Jordans and they gonna be on sale. And then somebody go, that means, yep, me too. You know what I mean? And one last example, I'm just trying to show you what can mean. Then somebody can be, y'all could be making love, and you say, baby, is it good to you? And that's hell yes. So it just depends on what the inflection are for So that's pretty much what I got to say about that. And I just think that Michael B. Jordan made a really good point that it is not about black movies not travel well international. It's about black people all over the world. It's about us feeling that commonality to feel like we should get together and support what's going on. And not every black movie is a good movie. And I don't know. I don't want to say I want to shed that myth, but at this particular point, you got to know that, And this is the one movie that shed some light on us in a different light. So that's why it's so galvanizing. That's why it's so, making the camaraderie between people just understand how this movie is, right? So now my question to you guys is that now that we've seen what we could do financially when we come together and believe in a cause, right? We did this for a movie, right? And I listened to Dr. Boris Watkins talk this morning saying that, okay, it made Disney and everybody did good. They predicted that this movie would only make in its first weekend just a couple weeks ago before it came out only $125 million. If they would have got that in the first weekend, by all measures, they would have considered this movie a success. Now, they gave him $200 million to make the movie, but they said in that first weekend they only expected to get $125 million. So over the course of until it kind of fizzled out, they just figured we would have at least got our $200 million back plus a little extra change. Would have made the Disney stockholders very happy. But they did not know that this phenomenon was going to snowball and turn into this. It's no financial person on this planet could have predicted this. So that's a lot of money in pocket. And I just think that the director, he did a beautiful job at bringing this thing to life. And it's it's a phenomenon. But like I said, I was listening to Dr. Boyce Watkins this morning, and he said, yes, this thing made a lot of money. We showed that once we get together, what type of financial power we can have as black people. But the question is, what's the next thing? Now that we know above all else that we could do this, if we all concentrate, put our mind to it over a movie, what could we all get together now and fund and make happen now? Could we all get together and throw $280 something million at a school to make it all happen? This many black people get together, donate to a school and make it happen, and we could do this all over the country, all over the world. If we could do it for a movie, why can't we do it for things that really could make a dent and move the needle in society? I mean, he brought a really good point. Now that we've seen, once we come together, once we, all formed ahead, once we Voltron up and we all come together, what we could do, what's next? Right? What can we do next to make sure that something goes right? It's amazing if we was to do this and we was to just go back into our neighborhoods and say we're going to put the same effort that we put into the Black Panther movie, into getting these neighborhood rights, into getting outreach programs, into educating people, getting everybody in the college, build a community where we say any kid that comes into this community will leave this community with a college education. Can we do that? Can we galvanize and make that happen? That's what I want to know. Can we do that? Now that we've shown that we as black people have the financial fortitude to boost something like the Black Panther movie up into astronomical numbers and make it just break all type of records. Let's all get together, galvanize, and ask what's next. What else can we do to make something break records? Something that's of significance, something that's going to change a whole community, something that's going to possibly change a generation. That's what we got to ask ourselves. Can we do that? So I just look forward to seeing where we go from here. Because if you look at it, we did something amazing here. We did something incredible. I like the way it feels. I like the way it smells. I like the touch of it. I like the way it sounds. Let's keep it going, black people. I'm so proud of us, So, all right. I'm going to get ready to go into the break. And as I play you guys out, I'm going to play the Black Panther trailer so you guys can get excited for the ones who haven't quite went to see it yet. And just as my last little tribute to the Black Panther. All right, catch you guys out there.
I have seen gods fly. I've seen men build weapons that I couldn't even imagine. I've seen aliens drop from the sky.
Yeah.
But I have never seen anything like this. How much more are you hiding?
Hold up. Let's go.
We are home. My son, it is your time.
Show me my respect and bow down.
You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be. Don't freeze.
I never freeze.
The revolution will not be televised. Show me my respect and bow down. We own ya. We own ya. We only getting started now, cause we own ya. Everybody think they know me now, cause we own ya. You and I'm a homie now, cause we own ya.
I waited my entire life for this. The world's gonna start over. I'ma burn it all.
What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. Wakanda forever! The revolution will not be televised. Let's have some fun. The revolution will be live.
Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
Hi, this is Clifford English, your host and producer of The Gospel Train. Join me every Sunday right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. You will be encouraged, you will be equipped, you will be educated, you will be entertained, all while hearing the best in gospel music. Don't miss your connection with The Gospel Train right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist, Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin P. Montgomery. I invented a goat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela!
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation is when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high to have no affiliation to a political party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Beat Break 87 FM wants to help you get the word out on your next community event.
Hey, do you have an upcoming public service announcement that you want listeners to know about? Well, email us the info to psabeatbreak87@gmail.com so we can help spread the word. That's psabeatbreak87@gmail.com. If your event flyer has the words nonprofit, community, support, charity, and just describes everything about helping our community, please share the special event right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
When it comes to hip-hop, R&B, and talk radio, no one does it better than Beat Break 87 FM.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
I sent her to school yesterday. She was supposed to be safe. My job is to protect my children. And I sent my kid to school. In the morning, sometimes things get so crazy, she runs out behind and she's like, I gotta go, Dad, bye. And I don't always get to say, I love you. I don't remember if I said that to Jamie yesterday morning. Jamie was such a special kid. All of the kids here are. What is unfathomable is Jamie took a bullet and is dead. I don't know what I do next. My wife is home. We are broken. But I can tell you, don't tell me there's no such thing as gun violence. It happened in Parkland. I love all of you, and I just want to say to all of you kids, when you look at us parents like we are crazy, like we are trying too hard to protect you, like we're trying too hard to tell you what not to do, where not to go, and you think we are being a pain, just remember, it's because we love you and we never want to go through the tragedy of losing you. Parents, love your kids, hold your kids, kiss your kids, and don't ever, ever miss the chance to tell them how much you love them. I love all of you.
As I'm sure you know and feel, this is another very sad day in America, another senseless shooting, this time at a high school in Parkland, Florida, where a gunman, a former student, opened fire yesterday. Again, 17 lives have been lost, more than a dozen people are hospitalized, and our president, as he should, weighed in on the tragic events this morning from the White House.
We are all joined together as one American family, and your suffering is our burden also. No child, no teacher should ever be in danger in an American school.
Agreed.
No parent should ever have to fear for their sons and daughters when they kiss them goodbye in the morning.
Agreed. So I agree with both of those statements. And here's what you do to fix that. Tell your buddies in Congress, tell Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell and Marco Rubio, all the family men who care so much about their communities, that what we need are laws, real laws, that do everything possible to keep assault rifles out of the hands of people who are going to shoot our kids. Go on TV and tell them to do that. I'll tell you something. That is a perfect example of the common sense you told us you were going to bring to the White House. It's time to bring it. We need it. Tell these congressmen and lobbyists who infest that swamp you said you were going to drain. Force these allegedly Christian men and women who stuff their pockets with money from the NRA year after year after year to do something now, not later, now. And don't you dare let anyone say it's too soon to be talking about it, because he said it after Vegas, he said it after Sandy Hook, you say that after every one of these 8 now fatal school shootings we had in this country this year. Children are being murdered. And do something. We still haven't even talked about it. You still haven't done anything about it. Nothing. You've literally done nothing. Actually, you've done worse than nothing. You like to say this is a mental health issue, but one of your very first acts as president, Mr. Trump, was to actually roll back the regulations that were designed to keep firearms out of the hands of the mentally ill. You did that. Your party voted to repeal the mandates on coverage for mental health. So I agree this is a mental illness issue, because if you don't think we need to do something about it, you're obviously mentally ill. And it is amazing to me that if one illegal immigrant causes a car accident, we've got to build a wall to keep the rest of them out. Why are you looking for solutions to that problem and not this one? Every reasonable American, Republican or Democrat, knows that something has to be done. Something. And we're not doing anything. But go ahead, I'll let you finish.
To every parent, teacher, and child who is hurting so badly, we are here for you, whatever you need, whatever we can do to ease your pain.
Great. Okay, what we need and what you can do to ease our pain and to prevent future pain is something. 8 out of 10 Americans agree that a teenager shouldn't have an AR-15. So why does a teenager legally have an AR-15? Somewhere along the line, these guys forgot they work for us, not the NRA, us. And this time, we're not going to allow you to bow your head in prayer for 2 weeks until you get it all clear and we move on to the next thing. We're going to make sure you do something this time. And if you agree with me, and maybe you don't, but if you do, here's one way you can help. Go to everytown.org. All the information you need is there, and you can write to your representatives and call them. And if they don't listen, vote them out of office. Whatever you do something. Because I, for one, am very, 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 very tired of this.
It's entirely premature to be discussing about legislative solutions, if any.
It's just not the time to dive into the politics and try to score political points.
I think anybody who would politicize this shooting should be ashamed of themselves.
This is not the time to have the discussion, and it's frankly, I think, insulting to the American public right now to try to politicize something.
The reaction of Democrats to any tragedy is to try to politicize it.
I'm more than happy to talk about this in a few days. Right now is not the time.
There's a time and place for a political debate, but now is the time to unite as a country.
This isn't a guns situation. I mean, we could go into it, but it's a little bit soon to go into it.
Yeah, no, it isn't. We'll be right back.
Tonight, the teenage gunman who has destroyed so many lives here shuffled his way into the courtroom. He looked sullen as he faced the judge.
Mr., are you Nicholas Jacob Cruz?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. You are charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder. I have something very important to tell you. You're charged with some very serious crimes.
His defense lawyer insists that Cruz has profound regrets.
He's sad, he's mournful, he's remorseful. He is fully aware of what is going on. And he's just a broken human being.
Cool Springs Police wants to evacuate approximately 40 students from building 800.
America is left to grapple with the consequences of another mass shooting in a school.
I have the gunshot victim. He's by the entrance to Westglades on the west side of the school.
The country again confronting images of frightened teenagers running for their lives.
Fire rescue. One injured person. He's shot.
And of police teams leading pupils to safety, while other units hunted for a heavily armed killer on the loose. Video from inside the high school captures the terror of pupils. A policeman carrying a survivor to safety amid this Valentine's Day massacre.
Let's go.
Other pupils were hiding under desks and in cupboards. Some teachers defending students with their bodies and with their very lives. The shooting itself was filmed on a phone. Too distressing to show in full. The opening gunshots are shockingly loud. And this footage shows the moment a heavily armed SWAT team entered a classroom to reach terrified students.
Hands, put your hands up, guys. Put your phones away. Put your phones away.
Does anybody have bolt cutters? I can get this kid out of the fence.
Police radio communications reveal the urgency and the confusion that surrounded their entry into the school.
Gary, does he know where the shooter is? We don't know, but we're entering the building, in front of the 13 building 13.
One student followed a teacher's suggestion and used a textbook as a shield.
And she's like, grab a book. So I took a book. It was a tiny book, but I took a book and I held it up. And I believe maybe the book kind of deterred some of the bullets. So it didn't hit me so badly.
Teachers here say they're tired of leaders expressing sympathy, but doing nothing.
I mean, here we are, and we're like the latest statistic on, on school violence. And as a society, as Americans, we're failing our children. We're not keeping them safe, and Congress is failing us, and the government is failing us, and something has to be done.
Many of those killed were found inside the school, but the gunman had escaped. His identity was already known.
Description of the subject is going to be a white male, last name wearing a burgundy shirt, possibly Nicholas Cruz.
And this was the dramatic moment of the arrest. A police officer running to get handcuffs on the suspect. while another kept a gun trained on the prone figure.
We have the suspect detained. 10-4, can we get a positive confirmation on Nicholas Cruz being detained? 10-4.
Cruz was a former student at the school with a history of disciplinary problems and with access to all the weaponry he needed. On his social media accounts, there were disturbing images of Cruz posing with weapons. A perfect storm of a young man with access to guns and harboring a grudge beyond comprehension. Earlier today, the president, a fierce defender of gun rights and the Second Amendment, made his first comments on the tragedy.
I want to speak now directly to America's children, especially those who feel lost, alone, confused, or even scared. I want you to know that you are never alone and you never will be. We are committed to working with state and local leaders to help secure our schools and tackle the difficult issue of mental health.
Tonight we spoke to Kelsey Friend, heartbroken after watching a teacher gunned down in front of her.
I heard the gunshots over and over and over again, up and down the halls, down below us, kids screaming. I heard a young man crying for his mother when he was dying, and it was terrifying.
Her geography teacher, Scott Beagle, tried to lock the classroom door, but was a fraction too late.
He fell in the middle of the doorway, where he lied dead for probably more than an hour. And I was crying because he's my favorite teacher.
What would your message to President Trump be?
My message, please do something. That's all I'm asking, is to please do something. I lost multiple friends today. I lost my favorite teacher. I lost people I cared about the most.
Kelsey and her fellow students are left to ask a question that goes to the heart of this nation's political culture. Why on earth is America paralyzed, unable to even address this epidemic of gun violence?
On my very, very worst day, I couldn't imagine what these parents are going through. I couldn't imagine what the school is going through. You know, I just can't imagine. I just don't understand why we're at this impasse in our country where we just cannot, will not address the gun violence here. And like they said in the piece, every time a mass shooting like this happen, the first thing that people like to say is not the time to talk about gun issues. It's time to help people heal. It's not the time to make this a political issue. It's the time to be there for the families and comfort them. Well, if the guns were not readily available, we wouldn't have to do so much counseling of families who have lost kids. We wouldn't have to do so much sending grievance counselors to kids' school to deal with loss of life from guns and these kids and these guns. And everybody want to make it totally a mental illness issue. And at its core, yes, you have to be, something has to be wrong with you to feel like you want to go into a school and just start killing your fellow classmates and killing your teachers and stuff. I give you that. Something definitely inertly has to be wrong with you, right? But we got to get to the point where we got to admit that people couldn't mass kill people with a knife, a bat, a brick, or a rock. People can mass kill people with guns. I mean, one person can just stand there and just hold the trigger and just spin around in a circle, close his eyes, don't even have to really see what he's shooting at, and just playing around could kill 10 or 12 people just on accident. So is it necessary in this country that we have automatic rifles? What are we trying to stop? What are we trying to kill around here? When you going hunting, if you hunting a deer with automatic rifles, can you truly call yourself a hunter? Really? Honestly? You know, the animal could just run across the meadow and all you got to do is just hold the button, the trigger, and you eventually get them. I mean, at 60 rounds per second, you got to hit something, right? So I can't imagine as a father what this man must have been going through. I remember one time I told my son he can go outside, and it started to get dark. He had been gone for like several hours, didn't check in. And at this particular point, it's like 5:30. It was totally dark, and he hadn't come home. And this was just for a couple hours of my son was gone. I panicked. I was like, I shouldn't have let him go. He said he was going around the corner. I went to where he was at. Me and my other son went to looking for him. He was nowhere to be found. Do you know the panic, the fear, everything that went through my brain just at the thought of him being gone just for those little moments? And that's just that. And then he come running around the corner like it was no thing, laughing and joking like I was at my friend's house. A part of me wanted to strangle his little neck, but another part of me just held him and just said, thank you, God, that he's back, because the overwhelming fear of losing him, or somebody had taken him, or something had happened to him, overrid any type of anger that I may have felt, because I was just so happy to see my son, so happy that he was back home and back with me, back with us. So can you imagine you dropping your kids off at school and you tell them you love them? Because we become so generic with, I love you too, you know, and that's just become a part of the daily routine. That's just become a part of the habit ritual that we do. Love you too. And, you know, and they be acting like they don't want to say it. You have to repeat it. I said, love you, Dad. You know, don't want to say it in front of their friends. So I'm telling you guys, if you got kids and you understand the paradigm, what's going on in this country, we got to do something. We got to make it where our kids are our number one priority. It's already a war against kids. People, you know, molesting them, people kidnap them, putting them into the sex slave trade. And now we got to worry about their friends killing them. If you got your kids, you love them, you protect them. And when you say you love them, you make them stop and understand and look you in your eyes and tell them that you love them. Let's stop making it sound like it's a forced thing. Let's stop making it sound like somebody, you know, has to hit you in the back of the head to make you tell your kids you love them, you know? And kids, if you're listening, which probably not, you got to look your parents in the eyes and tell them that you love them too, because this shows you no one is supposed to go to school and not come back because of gun violence. I mean, as a grown man, it hurts me to the core. It almost makes you want to shed tears because you understand what the dynamics is, you know? You understand that it's not supposed to happen like this. We all are supposed to outlive our kids. You know, if it was some freak genetic thing, it would hurt, but you know, you had time to prepare for it. Or if it was cancer or something like that, and damn cancer too. But at least you get some measure of some type of time to prepare for it. Nobody's prepared for the fact that your kid is not coming home today because they got gunned down. That one kid is still in the hospital. He's been shot 5 times. He survived, but that goes to show you how many people that this man, this boy, not even a man, this fucking boy hit. This boy took 5 of the bullets. You understand what I'm saying? Just imagine he would took 1 and the 4 bullets would have hit 4 other people. I just can't imagine how this is supposed to play out going forward, right? And like some church in Australia had put up on their billboard or on a sign outside a church, when is America gonna care more about their kids than they do their guns? When is that supposed to happen? And I'm making an appeal to everybody that sits on a seat in Congress. I don't care if you a Democrat or a Republican. I'm making an appeal to everybody that sits on a seat in the Senate. Don't care whether you're Democrat or you're Republican. When are we gonna get to the point where we care about our kids more than we do these damn guns? It is time. It is way past time. It is time to put real laws on the books. It is time for us to say, okay, yeah, we got the Second Amendment, right? But don't y'all think it's time to amend the amendment? It's time to get these powerful guns out this country. I don't know what you think is coming down the pipe, gun enthusiasts. I don't know. Are you planning to stop the Incredible Hulk? Do you think Thor, Superman is coming through your door? Who are you trying to stop with an AR-15? Who are you trying to stop with something that got bump stocks that can increase the speed of the gun shooting? Who are you trying to stop? Who the hell are you afraid of? Because obviously you're not afraid of kids dying. Obviously you're not afraid of potentially your kids dying. But it's one of those out of sight, out of mind type things. As long as it's not happening on my block, I'm fine. As long as it's not happening to my kids, I'm fine. As long as it's not happening to my family, I'm fine. When this congressman got shot just a while back, 6-7 months ago or whenever it was, it seemed like he would have been the main one pushing to say, hey, let's stop this. Being shot doesn't feel fucking good, Let's stop this. But what happened? Why can't we do something about this? Australia saw a problem. They realized that under no circumstances can we allow a mass shooting happen in our country again, because we care about our citizens. We care about the people. We care about the kids. So under no circumstances can this happen again. But they did something about it. We keep running around here thumping our chest saying that we're the greatest country in the world. Right? But what we should be beating our chest on the fact that we're the most stubborn country in the world. How many people must die and will die and continue to die before we need to sit down and draw a hard line in the sand saying enough is enough with these guns? I don't understand. Why is this such a difficult thing to understand? From the very first time we had a Columbine, guns should have been under control. Something should have been done. We should have never got to a Sandy Hook. We should have never got to the Orlando nightclub shooting. We should have never got to the Vegas shooting. And we definitely should not have got to the shooting down in Florida. What is going on? How many of these we got to have before somebody say, okay, I get it? I mean, it's almost like we have the three stooges up in Congress and up in the Senate. Definitely one of the three forgotten stooges as in the White House, 45. He's Shemp. He Curly Joe. I mean, if you really want to be truthful about it, we're only a month and a half into the year, to be perfectly honest. But we can't get it. We don't want to. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the Random Select podcast for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
This is Atlanta's new underground station.
How you doing? This is Wood Harris.
Hi, this is Jasmine Guy.
What's going on in Atlanta? This is Clifton Powell.
Hey guys, it's Niecy Nash from TV Land's The Stone Man.
This is Cat Williams.
Check this out. This is your boy RL from NEXT.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Lunel.
What's up, ATL? It's your girl Ken of Atlantic Records.
Hi, I'm Taraji P. Henson.
WBS 87 Atlanta, WAEN FM Atlanta, WBHH, and on iHeartRadio, the home of the Beat Break Morning Show with Sean Garvey, DJ Rollum, and the Wake Up Ladies. Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Streaming online at BeatBreakRadioFM.com. Download the TuneIn app to hear Beat Break 87 FM on your mobile device and listen to the Beat Break Morning Show. Weekday mornings only on Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
What's up, ATL? Make sure that you check out the D Hill Radio Show on Beat Break 87 and BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. Tried to put it off, but I can't. It's on me. Tried to blame the other man, but I can't. It's on me. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Listen to Beat Break 87 FM on the go. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app from the app marketplace, including Amazon, Google Play, and the App Store. View photos, videos, and Beat Break 87 shows on your mobile device. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app now for free.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin P. Montgomery. I invented a boat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela.
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation? It's when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high to have no affiliation to a political party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Wake up weekday mornings to the Beat Break Morning Show and nod your head in bed to the 360 Mix Show. Weeknights on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.